Welcome to Financial Sobriety School. My name is Linda Parmar. I am a certified money coach, founder of Financial Sobriety School, and a financial sobriety expert. Welcome to lesson 27. We are talking about sober spending summer edition. And it is definitely summer slash light spring here on Vancouver Island. I am rocking, for those who are on YouTube, a super fabulous red eye from all the allergies I'm experiencing. Holy bananas, the allergies. And I love this time of year because the earth just comes to life, right? But when the earth comes to life and pollen, and we actually have, I live on a piece of property where we have a hay field, which is able to keep our agricultural land status as a farm. So we have a hay field, and the hay's really long. I'm really allergic to it, and red eye is just part of my aesthetic right now. Um, it is what it is, right? That's, life being lifey. So I wanted to make sure that I got this lesson out and adoring little red eye happening. So this time of year, I just feel like I get brought back to life. I love the cozy season. I love being able to kind of hunker down, but I love being able to live like four seasons here on Vancouver Island. I often dream of living somewhere where it's going to be sunny all the time. Now that I'm perimenopausal, I don't know if I would actually enjoy heat all the time. Um, but yeah, I think I don't know if I actually would love that because I would want to experience the seasons. And I love it when spring feels like I'm looking out my window right now and everything is just like this bright green color. And then, summer and water. I'm a water sign. So when it comes to being able to just be in the water all the time, I just love swimming and just being by water in the summertime, reading my book. So, yeah, I love this season, but this season also brings up spending. So, overall, if you haven't heard kind of what sober spending is, it is one of the foundations of Financial Sobriety School. I do actually have a free 3-day sober spending free course on my website if you want to go there, lindaparmar.com. And so with that, it is essentially when we're sober, we're feeling clear, we're feeling aligned, we're feeling mindful, and really connecting to our money, not having that spending hangover, right? Not going out and spending a bunch of money on stuff that we really don't need. And then that hangover starts, that shame starts, that spiraling starts. And so I wanted to talk about it for summertime because actually, this is the season that I find I'm the most triggered to spend because the sun just lifts me, right? I physically feel this lift that happens, and then the brain starts to go, right? My addict brain, my spending brain starts to go, oh, you need new clothes for the summer. Oh, we need this for the deck. Oh, we need this. Oh, we need flowers. Oh, we need to do this. Do we? Right? Do we actually need to do that? If you follow me on Instagram or on TikTok, couldn't remember the name for a second. I have characters, alter egos, Spendy and the gang, and Spendy has been playing out some scenarios about spending and what this time of year brings up for people. And I see it all the time in stores, like patio sets. For me, one of the first things I saved money for was a paddleboard. And it was for this time of year because it was like, "Oh, I just want a paddleboard." I still have those moments where like, "Oh, I want a kayak." It's like, "Whoa. No, Linda." Like, "Would you like a kayak?" "Sure." Are they expensive? Absolutely. And, like, could you save for one? Absolutely. But I do own a paddleboard now. Kind of the backstory on that is, like, it was one of the first things I saved for. It wasn't like, "I'm gonna go into a store and charge it on my credit card." It was like, "No, I'm intentionally saving up for a paddleboard." I went and got it at Costco. I have a love-hate relationship with Costco, because you can't get through the door without spending hundreds of dollars, it feels like. So sober spending is one thing you really wanna make sure you're doing in Costco. But it was like, okay, I had saved. I knew Costco had paddle boards that were really great. And when I went in there, it was actually like, I think it might have been even like $200 off their regular price. So things start to happen when you start to work on your money. And I see it happen all the time that you start getting little gifts. You start getting like, like that thing with the paddle board of like, okay, I've saved enough, and then I walk in there and it's like at least $200 less than I thought it was gonna be. And there was 2 left. And it was like, oh, my paddleboard. I actually have a name for her. Her name is Phoebe. Me and Phoebe like have been going out a lot. And I am so grateful for my paddleboard and the experience of saving for it. And they've gotten so much cheaper from when I first originally bought, my paddleboard. They're still expensive, like, I think they're at least $500 now, for one, but I got mine, like, 4 or 5 years ago, so I think it was over, like, $700 when I had gotten it at that time with the discount, but it just felt so good. But it's things like this time of year where it's like, "Oh, if I buy a paddleboard, my life will equal, everything I've hoped for." Right? And if you know, you know. "Oh, this is gonna make me feel so much better. Oh, I'm gonna feel so great in the summertime. Like, this is the answer to my happiness." So that's why I want to talk about sober spending in the summertime slash like I know it's spring still, but I just want to bring it up and have a little chat about some ways that you can really set yourself up for success with your spending in the summertime. So, one of the things that is a huge part about sober spending, and actually, I have like a full lesson on sober spending. It's lesson 3. So, if you go back on podcast, YouTube, or the blog, it'll have all the info there. Um, but really, like, questioning what we're buying is a really big piece of sober spending. So, as you're doing that, setting clear intentions of maybe even, sitting down and thinking like, okay, what do I want spending to look like this summer? And setting those intentions of, what am I going to spend money on? And that could be like making a summer spending plan. I'm a big fan of planning your spending every month because every month, specifically in summer, can look a lot different. Like, for example, like if you have kids, obviously they're not going to school. Like, do you have to pay for extra childcare? Do they go to camps? Like, what does that look like? Are you going away camping? Are you going away on a trip? And again, questioning like, are we actually able to do that? Do we actually have the money to do that? And what does that look like? So being intentional about this is what I want my summer to look like. And just a heads up as well is that I'm actually also having summer school this year. So a 3-month course that we're starting on June the 9th. And it's going to be 3 months, summer school, thriving, my essential course of financial sobriety school with all my teachings. It's going to be on Sundays at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Standard. So a weekend class is here. You can spend the day at the beach and then come back on Sundays, and I'll be able to teach you how to live financial sobriety. So, talk about being intentional. Is that something maybe you can do this year for yourself? And there is a coupon code for 25% off. I think that comes to about 320 Canadian for 3 months of summer school with financial sobriety school. I would love to have you there. But again, talking about intentional, what are you going to do with your money this year? So again, coming back to that summer spending plan, long weekends. Are you planning to do anything? Weddings? Do you have a family reunion? So much stuff happens in the summertime. And that's like everybody tries to like pack it in 3 months, which is also a reason why I want to talk about this because it's like, okay, like what do we have to spend money on? And going back to that monthly plan, what is it looking like? What is coming in and then what is going out? Summer is one of those things that I would say would be maybe an intention to start even for next year of being like, hey, maybe I should start to save every month now for our summer vacation and for our summer plans because summer is a super expensive time of year. In saying that, outside is free, right? Outside is free. There's so many great things that happen. Like if you live in a little community, often they'll have like days for that community. So, for example, I live close to Ladysmith here on Vancouver Island, and they have Ladysmith days. They used to have a parade. They don't really have that anymore, but they do have like kind of like a festival sort of idea down at the beach. And especially if you have kids, there's like free face painting. There's just a lot of really cool stuff. So the community events, I know here in Canada, we have a long weekend this past weekend. In the US, you guys have your Memorial Day coming up. And of course, like the expenses of that. But is there like some free stuff you can check out with yourself or your family? What does that look like? And if you are going away, really doing some research on some affordable ways to if you haven't saved and if, the cost of it is something you really want to be cognizant of, if I could speak. Sober, that's part of that sober spending, right? So, is maybe an Airbnb cheaper? Is like, are there lower cost, like maybe staying just outside of where you wanted to initially go? Just being open to like, hey, I want to see what my options are instead of just like booking the first thing you see. Really being awake, right? Clear. Like, okay, I really want to make really good decisions with my money this year. Um, I really like the idea of like if you're having, say, for example, like hosting an event yourself and having people over to into your home or for a barbecue or something over the summer. Maybe you can make it where everybody brings something and have it not be all up to you for the cost, because let's be honest, trying to host a barbecue at this time in the economy is expensive, especially when you're talking about like meat and then like all the other stuff that goes along with it. Like having actually hosting a barbecue would actually be a really expensive thing. So, like, is that really what's best this year? Even though you do it every single year, you can change your mind. You get to make different decisions with stuff. You don't have to do what you've done every year just because that's what you think you should be doing. This is the year where you can go like, hey, actually, like, no, let's maybe meet people for a picnic at the beach instead of like stressing out and cleaning every corner of your home that maybe not even everybody's going to step into. Guilty as charged. I am one of those people that, like, if I'm having an event at my house, like my daughter's birthday or something, or I don't even remember what we just had. Oh, my dad's birthday. And, cleaning my house like a crazy woman because like people are coming over and we are in one room in the house and then they leave. We are our own worst we are our own worst enemies sometimes. And that can really happen when we're holding events in general. We don't need to keep up with the Joneses when it comes to your event, if you even plan on hosting it anymore after you've heard this conversation. The Joneses are broke, as I say often. Um, they, put on like this big extravaganza. Yeah, they probably put those on credit cards. I've seen lately, like, I'm a Real Housewives fan. It's like the one thing that I get to kind of like I want to say numb out on. Just something that's just like ridiculous and just being able to watch that just brings me yeah, some sort of joy, but it's like I've seen some of them have their kids starting to go to, like, different colleges, and, like, the announcements they make about the kids going to college are, like, these over the top, which they always are, right? But these over the top, you name the type of, like, souvenir from this school that these kids are going to, and it's like there's balloons and stuff all over their bed and T-shirts and flags and this and that, and I'm going like, "What?" And it's for an Instagram frickin' photo. Like, what are we doing? They're the Joneses. Don't keep up with them. It's not worth it. So, if you're gonna host a gathering, um, yeah, make sure that it's something that's really within what you can afford for this summer. I think too, like maybe even making people aware of like your intentions for the summer. Like, I love having like themes. So last year my theme was like the summer of ocean or summer of beaches. Every week I went to a different beach here on Vancouver Island. It was so great. So, and I know that actually, like when I would post about it, people are like, that's a great idea. I'm going to start doing that. It was free, totally free. Like weekends, go to a beach, have a picnic, maybe pick up a coffee before we went down to the beach, took our dog for a walk. Like, doesn't that sound really good? And it was free. So, kind of having support systems, like maybe you and a friend who, are both kind of on a money journey, or a support system that maybe you've gotten from, like, if you've done like a group with me or something, and maybe connecting with somebody, or, a family member, like, hey, I really want to be cognizant of my spending this year. Let's help support each other. And having a accountability partner like that is such a great idea. So just want to put it out there for that, of just having, yeah, some accountability. The last thing I just want to talk about is that connecting to your spending. So we have the intention of making sure that we have a spending plan. We're making some intentions for the summer with our money. But as always, checking in, like, how much have you spent? Because it's great to say, like, I'm going to spend $100 on this event that I'm hosting for a picnic or a barbecue or whatever. And like, are you staying within that? And kind of checking in with your spending plan, tracking what you're spending on what is such a way to practice sober spending, staying connected to your money. And when we do that, we are able to shut down that noise of like, oh my goodness, I don't have enough money. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's happening with money. Oh my goodness, I spent so much money. Like, when we know what we're spending, when we're connected to that, it starts to bring peace. It starts to bring calm, hopefulness. And there's moments where you might feel like, oh, like panicked about it. That's also part of the journey, right? But more or less, you are going to start to feel like, hey, I got this. I got this. Like, that I'm really connecting with my money. I'm staying within my spending limits for the summer. And you'll actually get to relax because summer is such a time for us to kind of shut down, lay on the beach, read a book, have some time outside, enjoying the nice weather, even just sitting on your deck, maybe having a fire, going camping, stuff like that. Really embrace the joys and the simplicity that this season can bring. And, when it comes to the sober spending part, like keeping it really simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Make it as simple as possible. I am super excited about, these ideas that I've given you. And if you have anything to share about how the sober spending in the summertime has gone for you, please reach out. If you've loved this episode, please, please, please give me a review because we need to get the financial sobriety school message out to those who need it. Let's kick that algorithm up a little bit. And if you have any insight on how to get rid of red eyes during allergy season, even after using allergy eye drops, that would be great. I'm even doing the Flonase where I'm like spraying stuff up my nose. Ugh, doing all the things. Help. Happy summer. Happy sober spending. Thank you so much for being here today. And I will see you in a couple weeks.